So we're just out for a morning walk, and probably good that we're leaving today. It's drizzling just ever so slightly. Very, very tiny little droplets. Well, and now I have one dog in the frame. Chewy! Chewy's up there. Kind of saw him for a split second. Good boy, buddy. Good job. Yeah. Yep, you're all wet from going through the bushes. Good job. Okay, so one of the sort of requirements when I have the dogs with the cabin, staying at the cabin, is that so no dogs are allowed on the bed, which I totally understand. They shed quite a bit, and trust me, my laundry is full of fur. And I usually do try to bring it to the laundromat because actually, like, it's crazy, but the machines at the laundromat do a way better job than my home machine. And I mean, my home machine is one of those front loaders. It's supposed to be good. Anyways, so these guys really have a problem with that. Rue, not so much, because even at my house, Rue just sleeps on the dog bed. She has slept with me, I believe, like on the bed, but she's completely okay with sleeping on the floor, and I think she likes her space. She's kind of like Jasper, you know, like very loving dogs, but they need their space. But these two boys, it's so funny. Oh my goodness. So not kidding you. One, like in the middle of the night, I heard this whining, and it was Felix, and I thought, oh, okay, usually when they wake me up from my sleep, it's usually because they have to go to the bathroom really bad, right? Because most dogs really are trained to kind of withhold it throughout the night. But not kidding you, this boy was whining because he wanted to go onto the bed. Because I was like, oh, do you need to go? Because usually then when I get up, they're pacing around. They're like, oh, I got to get out of here. I got to leave, open the door kind of thing. But no, not Felix. He was just sitting there. And I was like, oh my goodness, are you kidding me? This boy is so, like, he's a posh dog. He's so spoiled. And, he doesn't grasp the concept that he can't be on a bed when a human can. Like, it's so funny. Like, and I mean, how do you explain that to a dog, right? And trust me, same with Chewy, but Chewy understands it a bit more than he does. Like, Felix has zero understanding of it. Like, Felix just thinks I'm being a snob or something, like I'm snubbing him. Yeah, it's so funny. Hey, Chewy, yeah, you tried to go on the bed too. Oh, and then this morning, guess what Felix pulled? It's so funny. So we all went outside to pee first thing. That's what we do. And then Felix hung back. He's like, no, I don't need to go out. And so I was like, okay, you can stay in the cabin. So then when I went back to the cabin, I'm like, where's Felix? Like, he's not on the floor where he was. Looked around. He's nowhere to be seen. Then he jumps off the bed. Like, I didn't even think to look on the bed, but he jumped off the bed, and that's what caught my eye. And I was like, oh my goodness. He waited till I left so that he can go on the bed. Like, these dogs they're ingenious, right? Like, they're just so, like, oh man, like we so underestimate their Chewy's there. That white in the forest is him. We underestimate their intelligence, right? Like yesterday's story with that with the what is it called, that Brittany that guy owned, who like gave the hunter he was with 3 tries. 3 tries to kill the bird that he spotted out. And then he was like, man, you're useless. I'm out of here. And he went with another hunter that had a good shot. Oh man, I love that story. But like Felix, it's the same story. It's like, she's not letting me on the bed, huh? Well, I'll show her. And like, that didn't even come into my mind that, that's why he stayed back. So he can go on the bed. Like, it's so, and like he went, like, yeah, like he has to be on a couch, like on something comfortable. Like Felix cannot stand the bare floor. Like even if I have a bare floor and say I put, like sometimes I have a box and that box is on the floor, he'll go and he'll sit on the box or on a piece of cardboard or on a mat. Like he cannot be on bare floor. Like he's just too good for it, Oh, he's such a funny boy. And like, yeah, just the fact that he outsmarted me. I mean, probably not too hard to do, I'm not going to lie. But just the fact that he was like, you know what, I'm going to hang back because then you're not going to be here to stop me from going onto the bed. Man, that killed me. That just, yeah. Yeah, Felix is way too intelligent for his dog sitter. Excuse me. Felix should write a dog book, how to outsmart your dog sitter and owners. Because I'm sure if he can outsmart me, I'm sure he outsmarts his owner family, And the funny thing is, like, dogs do this all the time, and I see it with owners that bring their dogs to me. They outsmart them and train their owners, and their owners most of the time are oblivious to it. Or they curtail to their dog and kind of like make excuses for them, like, oh, that's just their character, or, and yes, definitely, all dogs have their different characters, but, the fact that, like, going onto a bed is, I'm sorry, but it's not a dog's character, right? Like, oh man, it's just funny. Like, even if I gave Felix the most comfortable dog bed, he would still want to be on a bed because we treat them like humans. We really do. I mean, come on. Like, I fed them Edo, right? Edo dog style. Which means, all the ingredients are good for them. No oil, no fat, no seasoning, no sugar, like all that stuff. Like I spent, I think it was like $25 on a really good meal for them, right? I mean, so yeah, we legit treat these guys like our babies. And so in their head, they're just like us. So, we sleep in a bed, they sleep in a bed. We use a pillow, they use a pillow. Like, I've seen this over and over, Oh, it's so funny. And, but at the same time, like, us sort of being their owners and being responsible for them. And as I'm doing this, I'm thinking of my role as a mother to my kids, because trust me, I spoil them. I curtail to them like so much that in the end, it probably hurts them, as in it doesn't prepare them for real life, because real life is not going to treat them like their mother does, like real life is not as forgiving. And yeah, anyways, but yeah, so needless to say, Felix, I mean, all of them are really spoiled rotten, but I think as owners, we obviously have to draw a line in terms of, like, definitely 100% safety, right? So safety as in, they can't just be attacking a dog or getting mad or, taking out their frustration in the wrong way. Like, stuff like that is, like, I think we all know that. It's basic common sense, because safety first, right? But in terms of oh, you know, they deserve a bed. Like their beds now are luxurious. Their clothes now are luxurious, you know? Like, we spend $50 to $100 on a coat on our dogs, no problem. Like, man. Yeah, when I first came to Canada, we shopped at thrift stores, you know? But yeah, these guys are so spoiled. I mean, they 100% give us love back, and they're so entertaining, so supportive emotionally. And I guess that's why we do it, but at the same time, there's just hilarity in it. There's humor in it. There's life lessons in it. Yeah. But you know, like with Felix, I can't make excuses for him and go, oh, but he's so little, and you know, he needs the comfort of a bed, and you know, it's like, no, you know what? There are rules, and we just need to abide by them, right? So. Yeah, I don't know how to do that with my girls. I pretty much I mean, all of us do that, I think. Like, I talk to so many moms where they're like, they have to peel an orange for their kid. They have to cut up the fruit for their kids. They have to wash the fruit for their kids, or their kids won't touch it. Yeah, it's insane. But yes, definitely. And I think that's why now I'm just like, I like to leave my kids. To be on their own, because then I'm not there to mother them, you know? Just actually, so when these guys are with me, I'm not half as mothering them as their owners do, right? Because they're part of a group, and I have to keep the group under control. We have rules. We have boundaries that we have to go by, and then because it's a pack, they're not the center of the universe. Like our pack works as a pack because there's no one at the center of the universe. Like not even me, you know, because I learn from these dogs. I really do. And I give them the freedom when they need it. But yeah, that I have certain things the hardest one probably is when they're excited, no pulling. So I did fall. I did. So Chewy gets way too excited and way wound up, and if I don't calm him down, he pulls and pulls, and then his excitement just grows and grows. So anyways, this one time, I didn't do anything. And the thing with pulling is you can't let it go on, or it's self-rewarding in itself. So then it kind of just gets worse and worse. So, and I mean, I know this, but you know what? Sometimes when you're going somewhere, you're just like, oh, it's just easier to let him pull and get there, right? So I did that, and of course, got worse and worse, and then he started to run, and then I just couldn't, I could not, it was just too much force, and I fell. But they also know, as soon as he fell, he was he stood around, he stopped, he completely stopped pulling and started sitting down, and yeah. But going back to boundaries, that's why I need boundaries. So it's can't pull on a leash, you can't just jump out of the van, you can't just zoom up, push your way through doors, you can't just force me to love you only when I'm giving another dog attention, I go around giving them attentions. I'm sorry, I'm blabbing so much. Yeah, I don't know why I blab so much. I guess I just sometimes have things to say, and maybe it's because I don't, I'm not around humans that long. I am around dogs practically 24/7, so talking to my camera is one of my only ways of communicating verbally. It's too funny. Look at this tree. There was a bigger one on the Valley Trail, I think it was, that fell. But yeah, this is what I do sometimes. I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna walk backwards and see what they do, you know? And it's up to them to follow back. Yep. So you can see who's vigilant. These two are, and honestly, Felix is not that vigilant on what was it, on checking back, and it's usually me who has to call him back. Oh, look at that. Look at that. He's proving me wrong. Good boy, Felix. Good boy, buddy. Yeah, I ran into someone at the park. It was funny. They were like, and they knew Felix. They were like, oh, is this Felix? Oh, the reason I know is because, you know, I found him and I've called his owner several times because he was just wandering around in the parking lot. So he's notorious for that. But I do try to train them. This is the other thing, is I do try to train them to pay attention to me. So they're not just running in one direction and keep going. Every time there's a split, they are pretty good. Like, they usually know to wait around to see which split I'm going on. Or they'll start going in one direction, but they'll stop and wait and see. So, yeah. And that's why it's so nice to have repeats. They all know my routine. Newer dogs, you know, they tend to just walk. And it's up to me to kind of reel them in, which it is my job, but I try to teach them to be obviously smart as well, right? Because nobody wants to get lost, not even the dogs. Good boy, Chewy.